Now listen, sis, I'm not here to steal your man, but if I have to, I will. I'm the librarian, and I came to read. And since we're talking about people who love to steal things, can I arrest the universe for stealing people's vocabulary? The universe stole Donald Trump's vocabulary and left him with a bunch of nothing. Let me just play you a clip of what he said recently.
Lawrence, this is a tough hurricane, one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
I was talking about Hurricane Florence, and it does make sense. It's not really surprising to me that that's one of the only things that he can say about a hurricane, especially the way that he allowed the United States government to handle Hurricane Maria and how it hit fucking Puerto Rico, and nobody wanted to make any type of recovery efforts that made any sense. You see what I'm saying? He's talking about this is the wettest season that we've ever experienced from the standpoint of water, and I'm trying to figure out what other standpoint could it be from? Could it be from the standpoint of the Fire Nation? He said one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. So did you expect the Earth Nation to come through here? I mean, I know I'm the avatar, the last gender bender, but there's certain things that I can't handle. It's just, it doesn't make any sense for you to be going around here speaking like water is supposed to be not wet. But I know, as I said, that your administration loves to present facts as if they're options, as if they're opinions. So I guess you confirming to yourself that water is indeed wet shouldn't surprise me, because you don't seem to have a strong grip on reality, as we can see here. You thought that you were somebody's snake. You were out here trying to hiss. I don't understand. Did you think that you had venom locked up in that droopy jaw of yours? You know, that I know that your chin is giving me squared and cubed type of tease, the way that somebody did some shadow clone jutsu on your motherfucking chin. It's just 3 and 4 of them holes up here. But trust me, sis, there is no venom in there. There's no venom lodged up in there. The only thing that is venomous and poisonous that is lodged underneath your tongue are the words which continue to leak out of your mouth every single day. I'm tired of it. And speaking of things that I'm sick of, Tomi Lahren, I'm not going to spend too much time on you because it seems like you don't spend enough time on whatever coloring method that you use for your hair. And it really does make sense, because y'all say that y'all don't see color. It's really apparent every time I look at your fucking hair that you really think that's an acceptable shade, that's an acceptable gradient for that thin ass hair that you have, sis. But I'm here to tell you right now that it really isn't. Tomi Lahren, this is what happened to you recently.
Hey, Tommy, how does it feel to be a racist piece of shit? Oh, yep.
It gives me great joy to see you whimper away from the screen. It gives me great joy to see you tiptoe away from the screen like this particular woman, who decided that once she heard that gunshot, that it was in her best interest to move the fuck away from the situation. You were tiptoeing away from that camera time, and that's what I want you to do whenever you're on air, whenever someone asks you to be on TV, whenever someone decides that they're stupid enough to want to listen to whatever it is that you have to say on air. I want you to walk away from the camera exactly the way that you did in this particular situation. Stand by your words, sis. I don't understand, like, y'all will do everything that's racist, y'all will say everything that's racist, but then when somebody calls you a racist, you're just, no, sis, at least stand by it. That would make more sense to me. You're pathetic, and so are your hair follicles. Tommy, sit your ass down. I wanted to talk about Leslie Jones. After the whole Katt Williams and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish thing went on, Leslie Jones went to Gossip and said, hey sis, I'm gonna release a statement. She said, both you hoes need to shut the fuck up. And she said, both you niggas need to shut the fuck up, and I completely understand. She said, both of y'all have been just like everybody else in this industry is to women. She said, both of y'all been shitty to us, but she said, at least Katt Williams had me on his shit. She said, Kevin Hart, you told me that I would never make it. Of course, I'll put up a little bit of what she said, but she was just like, everybody's lying. She said, everyone needs to shut the fuck up before I tell what's really real, and they all know I know. I haven't said shit about anyone, and if I do, I keep it real and respectful and honest. I'm glad that Leslie came in here and said, just everybody shut up. She essentially said, this is a bigger problem. This is bigger than both of y'all. We need to fix everything that's going on in the industry, in our industry. And to me, truer words have never been spoken. I'm just like, all of a sudden, Kevin Hart standing up for women. Just, that shit came out of fucking left field. Like, girl, what are you all of a sudden you respect women, girl. I'm wondering if your wife would agree with you, but we're gonna keep it moving. And the things that I drew from this situation is that Kevin Hart ain't funny. Along with Tiffany Haddish, they class clown, built ass brand. And both Kevin and Katt, who are arguing back and forth, they trash. That's what I got from this situation. Please let me know what you got from this situation. Somebody else who's also trash is Drake. We already know that Drake is fucking trash. We know that. But the sad thing that happened recently was that Millie Bobby Brown took her ass onto Snapchat and was just like, y'all need to chill the fuck out. She was just like, why you gotta make a lovely friendship your headline? I mean, that first sentence is just a lovely friendship. Girl, a 31-year-old friends and texting with a 14-year-old for what? She ain't your goddamn daughter for what? So I feel really bad for Miss Millie Bobby Brown, because I remember when I was younger and I just thought it was hot shit that these older men were into me and shit like that. And you really don't see it. You don't see it. In a lot of cases, it's impossible to see it until you get to the ages of some of the people who are chasing after you. And then you look, you're just like, nigga. You get older, you're just like, I would never be chasing nobody that was that young. And your mind isn't thinking like that when you're that young. You're just like, oh shit, is somebody older, somebody lit, somebody fine. I'm just like, okay girl, you know, what's the tea, bitch? When you get their age, it's like, that shit should have never happened. So I know that when she gets older, she gonna look back at this shit like, oh my God, you know? So that's why I feel bad for her. But Drake says, get it together. Get it together. This should not be happening. I don't care how many times you try to flip it, reverse it. You try to give me pancake type of teas the way y'all trying to flip it. IHOP type of teas, IHOP type of teas. It's not going to be a-okay in my book, no matter how many ways you spin it. Sorry. This particular topic had me rolling over on the floor screaming and laughing when I seen this commercial. I will play a portion of it for you.
My name is Tim Gosar.
My name is Jennifer Gosar.
Gaston Gosar.
Joan Gosar.
Grace Gosar.
David Gosar.
Paul Gosar is my brother.
My brother.
My brother. And I endorse Dr. Brill.
Dr. Brill. Dr. Brill.
And I wholeheartedly endorse Dr. David Brill for Congress.
I'm Dr. David Brill, and I approve this message.
Oh my gosh, my spirit, that is the most gangster, ruthless, savage political ad I have ever seen, and it makes sense. I have ever fucking seen. Apparently Dr. David Brill, now let me tell you something about Dr. David Brill's wife. She's sitting up here, she knew what the hell was going on with that smirk on her face. She knew exactly what she was about to be serving the girls. It might have been her idea this whole time to gather up their political enemy, their political opponents' siblings, and just say, hey sis, do you, simply ask them a question. Do you support your brother who's also running for the same office? Do you support your brother's policies? Do you want him in office? All they have to do is say, no man, no. I mean, and they really look like they've been fed up. They look like they have been having all types of dinners, all types, they tried to intervene. They've been sitting in family meetings and family circles trying to talk it out, and they're just over it. These white girls, they're over it. They're tired of seeing their brother ass run around be racist. They're just like, girl, y'all are saying that we want clout by doing this shit. They say we don't even want to do this shit. But this guy done said, this is what he said.
None of this is pleasant for any of us. We gotta stand up for our good name. This is not who we are.
He says, sis, we have to protect our good name. I said, and times are getting really interesting when it comes to these political fights. Because, at least in my opinion, Ted Cruz cannot seem to have a good day. Mr. Ted just can't seem to tackle Mr. Beto O'Rourke, because he's been gathering his ass together on the campaign trail. And also, Ted Cruz posted this video of Beto on Twitter, trying to make him seem like the bad guy, and I'm just like, I don't understand it. Watch it.
How can it be, in this day and age, in this very year, in this community, that a young man, African American, in his own apartment, is shot and killed by a police officer? And when we all want justice and the facts and the information to make an informed decision, what is released to the public? That he had a small amount of marijuana in his kitchen. How can that be just in this country? How can we continue to lose the lives of unarmed black happen in the United States of America at the hands of white police officers. That is not justice. That is not us. That can and that must change. Are you with me on this?
So yeah, Beto is literally at the church that both of Gene attended. Good Street Baptist Church. Yeah, he was over there spilling the fucking tea in the girls, and I'm just like, how, in what world is this supposed to make Beto look like the bad guy? And yes, I know that there's no perfect politician. I also know that we can never really know someone 100%. But from what I'm seeing so far, Beto's ass is on it, and Ted Cruz just doesn't know how to deal with this. And the fact that there are people who really believe that someone who thinks and talks and acts like Beto is someone to be hated just lets you know what exactly is at risk when it comes to this upcoming election. That's why they're doing everything in their power to make sure that Brett Kavanaugh's roadkill in the face built ass snakes his way onto the Supreme Court. They're doing everything in their power because that's one way that they can guarantee that a lot of things go their way, especially if the cheating Cheeto himself has to stand before the Supreme Court. They definitely want his ass in there. Apparently, Dr. Ford is supposed to testify soon, so we'll see what happens when she spills all that motherfucking tea. The super heroic reaches that a lot of the Republican Party is doing when it comes to trying to defend Brett Kavanaugh is mind-blowing, because they were asking Dr. Ford, are you sure it's him? Do you really think it's him? It could be somebody else in the yearbook who looks exactly like him. They're doing their best to attack and discredit her. We've seen this shit before. Every time I think about what's going on in DC, my brain cells, they start the apoptosis process. Really, every single time I scroll on my feed and I see a bunch of dumb shit going on in DC, really my cells, all of my cells, not just my brain cells, they begin apoptosis. So I'm getting really tired. My hairline, it moves back a quarter inch every time Trump takes resources that we need and uses them to continue to be racist and bigoted. So I'm exhausted, but Donald Trump's asshole is not. I'm gonna tell you why it's not, because everything that's supposed to be coming out of there ends up being redirected and coming out of his mouth. So only when he closes it, okay, will I have a good goddamn evening.